here is a diagram of the bovine digestive system, which is an open system due to the inputs and outputs, with the inputs being food and water that goes into the cow's stomach through the esophagus, as you can see here, and then the outputs being both exhaling methane and the release of methane through flatulence and manure. So the feed goes into the system through the mouth when it is chewed and then swallowed down the esophagus and sits inside the rumen, which is the largest stomach of the cow. Of the four stomachs, it is the largest. And as you can see for number 2, the bacterial digestion and fermentation process start to begin. And as those start to break down the material, break down the energy in the food, the byproduct of hydrogen gas and carbon dioxide gas are released. And when those react with the methogens, there's a release of methane as a byproduct, because the methanogens are designed as a bacteria to absorb the hydrogen gas and the carbon dioxide, so the digestive system can continue on, because if there's too much hydrogen or too much carbon dioxide, the process is slowed down greatly. So as a release of methane, it sits in the rumen and then both follows through the rest of the stomach and then is released through the rear end in methane, heavy flatulence, and manure, and it is also released through the esophagus and back out the mouth through exhaling. Now, this is a problem that is directly involved with humans and human consumption because of the consumption of dairy and beef. Beef and dairy products have become vastly popular globally, and one of the biggest issues with that is the production of dairy cows have increased due to that. With 18% of the total greenhouse gas globally, those emissions are from cows and agricultural farming. So the problem there is that if the human consumption for these products of these dairy cows wasn't so high, then the amount of dairy cows that would be on the earth would be less. Therefore, the amount of methane that's released into the system and into our atmosphere at a grayer hole would be reduced.